Here at the Disneyland Resort, we are all about Halloween time, at least. That's what they are announcing. So much great things in terms of what is on the way for the theme parks this very fall. We also have ourselves a little bit of magic when it comes to Disney World bringing back a buffet. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it either. In addition to that, we are going to be discussing today just a smidge about a major $100,000 all Disney park getaway. Yeah, global getaway. Cars Land also celebrating a milestone at DCA. Disney is pumping the brakes on moving California employees on out to Florida. A Disneyland Magic Key Pass wait list. Yeah, we're hearing word of that. And the Disneyland Resort for first-timers. We're going to talk about that so much more. And before we get there, we do like to share with you an option to get yourself your very own Kingdom Report mug. All you got to do is leave the phrase that pays this week. The phrase that pays this week in the comment section beneath this video on our YouTube channel. What is it, do you ask? Well, it is the Jungle Cruise. That's right. The Jungle Cruise is the phrase that pays this week. All you got to do, leave that comment underneath this video following our live broadcast, and you have between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in which to enter. If you are the winner, we will select you randomly, reach out, let you know, and get you a mug on the way. All that, so much more. There is a lot to talk about. Kingdom Report Live starts right after the countdown.
Come to this happy place. Welcome.
Kicking things off like we always do with that live look at the Disneyland Resort. And today we're peering through the trees just across the monorail tracks and taking a look inside the park, Tomorrowland specifically. And it would appear Finding Nemo's submarine voyage there in the distance now, peering on up to the Matterhorn Mountain. Are you as thrilled as I am? I'm feeling good today. I want to climb that mountain. I want to scream from the mountaintops, open the Nemo submarine voyage. That's what I want to say. Thrilled to be a part of your weekend as always. Hello, everybody. It's Wade for the Kingdom Report, back with you once again here at the Warner Brothers Studios Media District, and kicking things off with all kinds of fun in the sun here in Southern California for a summer. Oh boy, if you are heading on out to Disneyland this very summer, we would love to hear from you. Let us know if you are heading our direction. As always, we appreciate knowing when you are in the neighborhood, or if you're heading out to Walt Disney World, we'd love to hear about your trip and your plans as well. Exactly how you plan to sustain all of that humidity and disgusting heat that comes with a trip to Orlando during summer. My very first trip to Walt Disney World was in July of a particular year of youth, and I can tell you that never again. Never again will that happen. Hell no. I prefer maybe fall, perhaps winter even, early spring, sure thing. Summer, I don't know how people live in Florida. Come summertime, that just seems like a nightmare to me. So bless you all for being brave to head on out to Walt Disney World during the summertime. If that's something that you are doing, please let us know your plans, as well as the Disneyland Resort, if that's your summer vacation. Who's we? Well, here, as always, to share their perspective, a little bit of Disney magic along the way, some of their thoughts and opinions on the news of the week. Well, it is travel agent Katrina Manzone, theme park analyst Tyler Crouch, and off in the ether, the golden goose himself, reporter Garrett Hassel. Hey, gang.
Hi.
Hello. I've said it before.
Hey,
and I'll
howdy,
say
hey.
it again.
Say it.
Summer is objectively the worst season. No doubt in my mind. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know how
If you
you
live
do
in the
it.
snow, I understand liking summer. But
It can be
summer's
tough.
terrible.
Especially in Florida.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know how all that snow stays on Matterhorn Mountain. I don't know what.
Never
crazy.
melts. Never seems to melt the
It's
way.
just wild.
Same with Mount Everest in Animal Kingdom. It never melts. Don't know how
There's a spell
that
Elsa
happened.
did just to keep it
It's
that way,
magic.
you know?
An Elsa
It's
spell.
magic indeed.
Yeah.
I think it's air conditioning.
Oh,
Oh.
You know when you go
Well,
inside
that's-
when you go inside the tunnel, I'm always like, oh, it's
Yeah.
nice in here. Actually.
I will say
There's some
Florida's air
conditioning.
conditioning is pretty amazing. Like,
Top notch.
I don't know how they just like, hey, let's open up the doors and just pump out the air conditioning in LA. Everybody's like, shut the door. Shut it. And I'm like, okay.
I agree, especially with all of that indoor queuing space that they tend to have at
So
Disney
much-
World. Makes
much
a
air
big
conditioning.
difference, doesn't it? Nice to have space.
This is the time you
That's what
want
I
to
was
stay in a
saying.
queue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, please, yeah. Let me frolic indoors for a while.
Yeah, I think like the only problem with how good the air conditioning is sometimes I'm so toasty when I'm outside, get a little sweaty, then you go into the air conditioning, and then it's almost like too cold sometimes. But if
I
that's
have
even
experienced
possible.
that too.
Then you start shivering.
Yeah, I think I got a
Shivers.
cold once because of it. I don't know.
Got
Who
a
knows?
cold for
What?
getting too cold.
Well, extreme temperature changes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's been known to happen.
it's been
Yeah.
known.
Yeah.
To
Biggest
happen.
fear too is getting a cold after being cold.
Yeah.
I think. Well, this is going nowhere. Hey, are you a fan
Songs
of?
today consider air conditioned. Do you know an HVAC person in need? Well, Disney's got you covered.
You heard it here first. Hey, are you a fan of Disney news? I know I am. This is where we like to grab a whole bunch of stories, a whole bunch of headlines, and bring it together for something we call the Disney News Review. Let's go. Disney News Review time. Taking a look at some of the biggest stories coming out of the Disney ether and beyond. Yes, indeed. This week, starting with a story out of the West Coast Disneyland Resort style, specifically Halloween at Disneyland. Yes, coming on back to us, in fact. The Orange County Register sharing that if you're a fan of that Oogie Boogie Bash, well, you're in luck. The after-hours separate admission event will run on select nights from September 6th through October 31st, with tickets going on sale June 30th and pre-sale tickets available to Magic Key annual pass holders starting on June the 28th. Tickets will go on sale no earlier than 9 a.m., and D23 members will be able to attend an exclusive evening of Oogie Boogie Bash on September the 10th during the run of the D23 Expo at the Anaheim Convention Center. Orange, gold, and black decor will return to the parks as well during the fall, with Halloween time at Disneyland running from September 2nd through October 31st, with the Plaza de la Familia taking over DCA's Paradise Gardens on September 2nd through November the 2nd. All the Halloween attraction overlays you've known from seasons past will also return to the parks, including Haunted Mansion, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, and Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters. Familiar nighttime entertainment will also be back as part with Oogie Boogie Bash, with the friendly and frightfully fun parade, Mickey style, Villains Grove, and Mickey's Trick or Treat. Mickey's Trick and Treat show returning. Character costumes, food, and merchandise will also have a seasonal flair, and Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit will once again be back in downtown Disney, and Halloween decor will fill the lobbies of all three Disneyland Resort hotels. You feel fall? Here we are complaining about summer today, and Fall is right around the corner. Do you feel the crispness in the air? I know I do. Katrina, share with us some of your favorite aspects of Halloween time and whether or not the price tag is worth the party.
I think it is. Honestly, I think now that it moved over to Disney California Adventure, I think it's a better deal than it was for the Halloween party over at Disneyland. Because I think the way they did the Villains Grove is actually really unique. And again, like we've talked about it before on the shows, but Villains Grove is just something spectacular, and it always makes me cry at the end. And it's not like a Halloween Horror Nights where things like jump out at you and try to scare you. It's just like a nice walkthrough over at the Redwood Trail, and then there's like projections and smells and lighting, and it's just you go through the different villains, and you kind of have to you have to kind of guess what villain it is, and it could be like, what is it, Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame, and then you get like the evil queen, and you kind of just keep going, and you follow the wisps from Brave, and then towards the end you kind of like make it through Villains Grove, and you survive, and it's just this like beautiful dawn, and you walk through, and anyway, it's really pretty. It always makes you cry. And then also like the special character spots now for the trick-or-treating is honestly a lot better than it was for when you did it over at Disneyland, because you'd go through your trick-or-treat trail, but then you had another line to wait for the character to meet and greet and talk to them and stuff. And it was just like, it takes a lot of time, and it was always really long. But now the trick-or-treat and the characters are kind of all in one. And you get that unique thing where the characters are actually interacting with you, not just a, like, let's just stand, talk, take a picture type thing where they always just do the same spiel. It's just like, you go through the line and you actually can like interact with like Cruella. You can interact with the evil queen, and it's actually really unique. And then you get Oogie Boogie himself just chilling inside, just wanting to talk to everybody.
The
and
creep
I think,
himself.
Yeah, and it's just I thought it's like honestly really worth it. I think the last time we did it, even like when it was like COVID, it was so worth it just to see the characters, interact with them. Go through the Villains Trail, and then on top of it, you can kind of grab a beverage as you walk around and trick-or-treat.
They handled it really well, too, when they brought it back, I guess it was last year, right? So they handled it very well, and I thought, everything was spaced out perfectly, and you were still able to be quite comfortable, and you got your candy, right? That's what's important.
Yeah, what's the use of trick-or-treating without candy?
Give me my candy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you want? Apples or toothbrushes?
Oh God! Get out of
Carrots.
here.
They gave us carrots. Apple slices.
I throw the carrots back.
I yank it away when they're like, "Do you want?" I was like, "No."
Yeah. No, I don't throw the carrots back. That's rude.
Well,
don't do that.
No.
I don't recommend that.
That
But
sounds rude.
it is a great party. I love going to it. And I kind of think it's worth the money because there's so many rare characters too. So if you
Absolutely.
care about characters.
Yeah, they had a really lot of like rare characters over where like Carthay Circle was last year, and it was actually really amazing. If you always have to kind of make a loop around just to see the characters around there, because that's where they brought them out last year, and we saw like a couple, but then we didn't make it back because we missed her, like, what is it, oh my gosh, Hades and Meg.
Hades and Meg.
We missed them.
Meg.
Yep. But we caught other ones, and it was really fun. Like, it's just, and then there's like projections on Carthay, and they have like a little show every now and then, like a projection show on Carthay. So it's just like everything you do is always really fun. And then and you can't go wrong with the parade. I don't know if like if World of Color is gonna come back with their Halloween version. I would skip it if I were you. The last time it was really bad.
Oh.
But
Well,
that's just me. I would go through Villains Grove twice if I could.
Katrina's hot takes, everyone. That's what we call that. Wow.
Hot takes.
Hot takes.
I need like some
need a graphic.
words
Fire.
going up here.
Yeah.
Hot takes.
Well, now you know. And we did ask you over on the Kingdom Report community page on our YouTube channel whether or not you were going to enjoy the Halloween festivities at Disneyland or Walt Disney World this year. And here's what you said poll-wise. 35% of you saying, yes, bring on the spooky. Heck yeah. 48% of you saying, no, I will not be visiting either. And 17% saying, already visited this year, or I will visit later this year. So interesting. I know that Halloween has become quite the big business in recent years, and within the last decade in particular, Disney has really been investing a lot coast to coast when it comes to Halloween, and they've kind of perfected Halloween overall, just in terms of adding a whole lot more parties and all these overlays and all these extras. And I feel like every year they kind of add a little something extra each time, and they keep building off of that. So it's great to see that so much Halloween is coming back to us, especially after 2 years of basically no Halloween, and then slightly Halloween. And now
Yeah.
we're getting some real Halloween back. This is great.
I think what is it? The Halloween party I felt last year, I felt like it wasn't lacking or anything. I felt like it was just like it was before. And on top of it, they added new characters too, which was really fun. Like, because they added the new Cruella from the movie, and then they added Sid, which was really weird to see.
Sid was
I literally
incredible.
hung out there for
Sid-
like 30 minutes just to hear him talk.
Yeah, like Sid was one of those characters that when we saw it on paper, it was like, Sid, that sounds really weird. And then
Seems
you
frightening.
see him, and it was great. And they had Agatha too from
Oh, yeah, that's right.
WandaVision,
Right.
which was really neat.
And
yeah.
then we missed the Captain America zombie.
Oh yeah,
They brought that out
the
at
zombie,
the
and
end.
later in the part, like we went like for the first party, and then they brought it like a couple weeks later, and just the videos of Captain America zombie was or zombie Captain America, whatever he goes by.
Zombie Cap.
Yeah, zombie cap.
Yep.
You know, that was really cool. So I hope they, you know, I don't want to spoil any.
Don't spoil
movies or
anything.
but
What are you spoiling?
maybe it'd be cool if they had a zombie Doctor Strange this year.
Oh.
No, he didn't.
I think we might be onto something here.
I got all excited now. I'm like, that was so scary in the movie, but I'm actually kind of excited if it happened.
That'd be pretty cool.
And you are right. I know that that introduction of the zombie heroes happened so late in the game last year, where it was only like those last few parties even got to experience it. So hopefully that will be just a cornerstone of
Even
all the
that's
parties. this
totally
year.
worth the ticket just
Yeah.
to go through and then just have like and you get like early access to the park too as well. It's like 3 hours, I think. So, I mean, it's kind of worth it to see those like special characters. If that's, I mean, even us, like we don't like stand in line for characters and like to talk to them, interact. We just like to walk by and enjoy them talking to other people. And that was totally worth it, you know, just to see Agatha and like Sid just
As you
chit-chatting,
eavesdrop.
you know. Yeah, I'm just
As they
standing
talk
there
to
like,
others.
what?
What are they saying?
And I'm like, ooh.
Oh.
And then
Yeah.
Sid's like picking on people, and it's really funny because he can like yell at people to get down because there's like full grown adults like trying to like climb on planters to see Sid, and then Sid's like yelling at them and being mean, and I'm like, yeah, it's worth it. Totally worth it.
When I was there, he encountered a little girl dressed as Bo Peep and
Uh-oh.
lost his mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
isn't that fun? It was
Really
just
came
like,
unglued.
oh,
It was great.
it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we look forward to some Halloween time at the Disneyland Resort this year. Again, let us know if you are somebody that is planning a trip to either coast for some Halloween festivities. The Disneyland Resort has some problems, we'll just say, when it comes to annual passes. If you haven't heard, the Magic Key program is something that has created a lot of headaches since it's been introduced, and even a lawsuit has come about due to the fact that some people feel like they didn't get what they signed up for. Well, with all the questions still in the air about what will happen with the Magic Key annual pass program, as we are just a little less than 2 months away from the renewal dates for the majority of people that are coming for their new annual passes to get those suckers renewed, Disney may be considering a wait list. Yeah, it's a little interesting. Los Angeles Daily News reporting a new annual pass waiting list just launched at Disney's theme parks in France and has Disneyland and Walt Disney World's most loyal fans hoping the system could soon be heading stateside as a way to open up more reservation opportunities to Magic Key holders. Disneyland Paris introduced the new annual pass waiting list system for advanced reservations this week, and the new Disneyland Paris annual pass waiting list is specific to the Disney theme parks in France. According to Disneyland officials, the Disneyland Paris annual pass reservation calendar now shows 3 options for each date: available, unavailable, and waiting list. Quote, when the Disney parks are full, you can join the waiting list. According to Disneyland Paris website, if your date becomes available, your registration will be confirmed automatically, close quote. Pass holders get an email notification when they've been added to the waiting list, as well as when their requested date is automatically confirmed. Canceling the requests or confirmations can be done with a simple click at the bottom of the emails. And Disneyland launched the new Magic Key program in August 2021 after ending the original decades-old annual pass program during the COVID-19 pandemic. Sales of new Magic Key passes have been paused for all 4 levels, which we have covered here in great depth, but that's for sure. The Magic Key program is still up in the air. It is still something that a lot of people have questions about, including us. But Tyler, your assessment of a potential annual pass wait list and what sort of difference that might make for something like that coming to Disneyland?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be a great idea overall. I think it would make people happier in general because I mean, when I'm scrolling through Twitter and stuff, it seems like the number one complaint I'm always seeing is that, they're sold out, or the reservations are gone. And, there's really, you can kind of get some last minute sometimes. Like last weekend we were there, and my buddy actually ended up getting a reservation day of on Saturday because, people probably canceled, and I have no idea how he would have gotten in otherwise. So it seems like just a no-brainer. Seems like this is something that should have been a part of it from the beginning, I feel like. Now if only, this is a little small nitpick thing. It's not the end of the world, but I wish you could reserve through the app. Like, why does it bring you to a web? Anyway, it's a whole nother story.
I completely agree.
I mean, it's like you have to like sign in twice and everything. It's weird.
And then you get an email saying, hey, someone signed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is weird. Every single time it's like, is this you signing in? It's like, well, I don't know. I guess I'm glad for safety, but still, but I think the impact it could have is sure it'll make people happier kind of on the surface, I think, because more and more people will be able to get in, hopefully. But also, like I said, more and more people will be able to get in. So maybe the parks will even get more crowded than they are now, which we'll see. I mean, that's, I don't know. That just seems like that's what would happen. I mean, clearly this is good for them too. I'm kind of surprised they didn't want this, like I said from the beginning, because they lose money. They're literally losing money when people cancel their reservations, like, 24 hours before, because then they're not getting more people to fill in those spots all the time. So this is going to make them more money. And, it's weird to me that it seems like for a company who's been kind of penny pinching as much as they have been recently, I feel like it's still strange to me that they do everything like so separate, like that Disneyland Paris has like a separate way of doing things than Florida, and then Florida has a different way of doing things from California. It's like, doesn't it seem like if they just kind of had a tech team that was working on these things together, that they would possibly be saving time and money? I don't know, but I don't know how they handle this stuff. I don't know what is more efficient, but anyway, it could make it more crowded, but I think it'll be good overall. I think it's good for the consumer, I guess, because I just think that it's pretty crappy if you get a pass and you can never go. At least you have a chance to join this waiting list now.
Especially as we inch ever so closer to that 100% capacity once again. That I don't know. Sometimes I think that we're already there. It's hard to determine where that capacity is, right?
Yeah, it's like some the fire department came in and said, okay, 50,000 people or something, but it's like, okay, technically we can fit that many people, but should we? We gotta. I think we gotta ask ourselves that question.
I feel like the night when we walked by from the fireworks, it looked like horrendous.
Yeah.
In Main Street, we booked it to like Batu and Splash Mountain because no one's gonna be over there, so we went over that way. But we were walking through Main Street, and I was like, "Are you sure we're not at capacity here? Because this looks really ridiculous."
And when they have to resort to opening backstage areas to like let crowds through, I mean that seems like capacity to me. That's like if you went to a restaurant and they were like, hey, you're gonna go eat next to where we keep the dumpster, because I mean, guys, that's what you're doing. You're like walking by dumpsters and stuff. But
funny to think, at Disney we typically eat on dumpsters. So
we do.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for years. I guess I should be used to it.
All class. Yeah. That's what we are. Amen. Speaking of classy, out at Disney California Adventure this past week, Cars Land celebrated a decade of magic. I am in shock. It's been over 10 freaking years since Cars Land debuted, and the rebirth of California Adventure came online, and it's wonderful to know that a place like California Adventure has had a second birth, had a second opportunity, had a second option at life, especially given the fact that version 1 was pretty painful to experience. If you remember version 1, especially way back when, we're talking like the first 4 years in particular, whoa, that park had a whole lot of nothing in it except for just, dining and shopping, really. And don't forget Superstar Limo, by God.
Yeah.
The savior of all attractions.
Oh, man.
It can stay in the ground.
Whoa, Garrett.
Wow.
Garrett Hassel joining us.
The upside down talking mouth, man, that sure was a showstopper. And then I actually didn't mind the California lettering in the front. I thought that was kind of cool.
I think everybody misses that.
But then you see the miniature Golden Gate Bridge, and being from Northern California, I'm like, wow, that's sad. And if you're on the monorail, you don't even realize it happens because it's so small. You just, you're like, oh, I got to write again to get it. But yeah, version 2, the superior version. Looking forward to version 3 if they ever do it.
Oh,
Oh.
I hope not.
wow.
Don't touch my
Yeah,
Carthay Circle.
Yeah, no, like the way it is now, Buena Vista Street is it's artwork, and it's it shows Walt when he came to this wonderful place called California.
That's
Yeah.
right. A suitcase and a dream, right? I knew you were going to say
Dang
it.
it. I think it's one of my favorite entrances to any of their parks, actually. Just
Mhm.
because I think they did such a wonderful job on it, and it's like takes you, yeah, we've seen like Hollywood before in, like at Hollywood Studios. I almost wanted to call it MGM. My brain went to like MGM for a second there.
Default.
Going back in time.
But well, we've seen Hollywood before, but this one is just a kind of classier, locked in time kind of version of Hollywood that like I think people think of when they, it's like they used to have those postcards at like lining all the front of DCA 1.0. Like every shop had like a really ugly postcard.
Greetings from California.
Yeah, and this is what this was like bringing a postcard to life when they built Buena Vista Street.
Totally.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
So.
And don't forget Santa's beach blast every holiday season. Santa in board shorts in the Sunshine Plaza area with that big hubcap. That was like the icon of the park. Hideous.
I was like, what is that? It's like, oh, it's a California sun. And I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it
It's
really
like
adds up.
It's just a chrome
boy.
like circle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
like-
wants to experience
I would always walk
California in
past it.
California?
Didn't they build it in like the wrong direction or something too, so that the sun was always behind it or something? Like I don't know. I remember
Probably.
I remember there being some issue with like photo taking that made it not the best choice. Anyway,
It was there were a lot of problems with that park. But Cars Land is celebrating 10 years, one of the most immersive, spectacular lands Disney's ever created. Katrina, maybe a favorite thing about Cars Land. What do you enjoy most about the place?
It's like the small detailing, and then I love like Shaboom at night when it's like dusk and it's going to dusk, and then if you just stand in that like right position, everybody just starts the whole street starts lighting up little by little until you get to the very end where Radiator Springs Racers is, and then that's like the final stop. But it's
Just
it's
like
always
in the
so
movie.
magical, if you catch it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's always so fun, and then you have to sing along. But that's what I love about it. It's just like the small detailing.
Yeah, real sense of community in that land, right?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
What do you think, Tyler?
I mean, for me, it was like I'm just gonna come out and say it.
Just say it.
I think the Cars movies are probably the worst. Some of the worst Pixar movies.
You don't
ever
like
made.
Lightning McQueen. You've never hit that fact at
Lightning
all.
McQueen
whether it's
is,
on the show
is-
or in person.
Lightning McQueen is one of the worst protagonists in Disney history. Anyway, just because
Wow.
he's just such a jerk. He's still a jerk. He went through this whole
Mater's such a good guy.
yeah, Mater. Like that's the thing.
That's why
when
they made
when-
him a popcorn
yeah,
bucket.
Well, yeah, that too. But when they made the second movie about Mater, they realized, oh, people don't really identify with Lightning McQueen because I don't know. At least that's what I think. But
And then the third movie's not even about him. It's about Cruz Ramirez. for the
right,
most
exactly. So it's just I don't know. Anyway, bottom line is the reason I bring that up, why I'm not really a huge fan of the Cars movies, is because Cars Land made me like the universe.
Yeah.
Like Cars Land made me actually appreciate, all like the cast of characters. I still am not a huge fan of Lightning McQueen, but like the whole cast is really just a fun time. And even when you go to like Ramon's shop and everything during Halloween, and they have like the offerenda for Doc, and it's like really kind of a beautiful moment that I don't know, it really gives life to these characters, and makes you feel just like you're part of this world, which I think is kind of amazing that they recreated this whole little town and made it feel like it is straight out of the movie. And like I mentioned Halloween briefly, but like when they do the overlay, like it's some of the most fun places in the park.
Absolutely.
When they do the Christmas and the Halloween overlays, because it just like brings a whole nother level. I will say something creepy about the Christmas overlays is like, have you ever thought about the fact that like a lot of their ornaments and things like that are actually like pieces of cars? So they're basically hanging body parts on their Christmas trees and stuff like
Wow.
that, which is
That's
very,
dark,
I feel like
fast.
it's more like a Halloween thing, but like Mater has like a spark plug on top of his tree and stuff. And I'm kind of like, oh, you're just taking pieces off your body and making it a decoration. You
Quite
sicko,
morbid.
Anyway, Cars Land
That's
is
why it's
beautiful.
scary during Halloween and also during Christmas.
It's like that car that sits outside of the curio shop, the like zombie looking car that's trying to
Oh,
come out.
yeah.
Dude,
That is scary.
It is
yeah,
cool.
it's
Yeah.
that, and like I love the little detail where like if you hang out there long enough, the radio kind of kicks on every now and then in like a little spooky way, and the light kind of there's like smoke kind of coming from the radiator, and it's, man, they really did a great job on those overlays, and just Cars Land in general. It's one of the most beautiful lands they've built at any park in years, period. So
Totally immersive, truly spectacular wraparound feel, and it's unfortunate to see that some other lands that have come online since then elsewhere don't even measure up. They aren't even of the same caliber. So, Garrett, Cars Land, maybe a special memory, something you like about the place?
I absolutely love the size and scale of it. The first time I went there, Radiator Springs Racers just blows you away, especially when you're in the final stretch and you're going around the engine monument or whatever that has the RR. They're going around it. You're just like, man, that thing is so flipping big. And then you see the Cadillac mountain range, just the attention detail, like what Katrina said, and just like how big everything is. They could have easily done, what they did originally with Star Tours at Hollywood Studios, where it's like, oh, look, it's indoor forest and look at AT-AT. But no, they went all out and made this a true land where you could spend hours there and not get everything done, like whether that's the Cozy Cone or Ramon's shop or Luigi's tire. Like, I like Luigi's area. I think it's so cute, whether the first version of it with the balloons and the bouncing or what is now where it's like a whole dancing. I haven't been on the dancing thing. I went on the original one.
It's cute.
The size of scale is just amazing, and just seeing it's like, man, this thing is huge. And when you do see the characters come out, everyone knows where they are, because they could have done nature, but no. You get a life-size Lightning McQueen, a life-size Mater, and they're big. They're big guys like Mater, and they talk to you. That's really cool.
yeah, I like when Red the fire truck comes out too. Like, that's always a good one, and he's like just hanging out in the middle of the plaza. They haven't done it for a long time, but when DJ used to come out and they had the little show too, like
Dance and Drive.
Yeah,
Yep. I miss DJ's Dance and Drive. He had his DJ's Fly Girls. They came out there and
Yeah.
did a little dancing with them and stuff. It was fun. Yeah, the land has a hell of a lot of charm, very special place, and certainly we tip our hat to you, Cars Land. Congratulations on 10 spectacular years. Are you somebody that feels like maybe you can front a cool $100,000 for a Disney vacation? Well, Disney seems to think that those people are available. As a matter of fact, the Pasadena Star News reports that a new 6-figure month-long trip that starts at Disneyland and hits every Disney theme park around the globe offers the 1% looking for the ultimate Disney vacation, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to turn the Soarin' Around the World attraction into a real-world journey. Adventures by Disney just announced a 24-day globe-trotting tour that includes stops at all 12 Disney theme parks in Anaheim, Florida, France, Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Tokyo, as well as a handful of international landmarks like the Taj Mahal, Eiffel Tower, and the Egyptian pyramids. The starting price, $109,995 per person. The luxurious jaw-dropping trip, running from July the 9th to August the 1st in 2023, includes visits to 31 sites and 68 meals along the way. Those better be some fine meals. The lucky few will travel in luxury aboard a VIP-configured Boeing 757 with long-range capabilities and staffed by a chef and physician. The Disney Parks Around the World tour is only for the Disney elite, who think of a $5,000 stay aboard the Galactic Star Cruiser as pocket change. The globe-trotting journey is limited to 75 travelers, with Disney offering first dibs to its most well-heeled fans. Bookings begin Monday, June the 20th, for Adventures by Disney regulars who travel often with the guided tour company. Garrett, who is this? Who really is this for? And for $110,000, what sort of value do you think there is in taking such a trip?
So this is definitely geared at the paycheck to paycheck type of person like myself. This is definitely built for the people that 110 grand is like, pocket change. The Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, the elites, it really is, or the most the most just dedicated Disney fan that has the sort of cash to burn on this. The value, actually, I can understand the value in it because it's 24 days and, you're on a special flight. You get to go everywhere, and you get to go around the world, literally, and you get to see all the amazing parks. For me, I find the value not doing the, Taj Mahal and going to see the Eiffel Tower and all that. That is fantastic, but you can do that in any normal trip. For me, the most probably special things are getting to see behind the scenes at like Imagineering, going to Skywalker Ranch, getting to go to the studios in Burbank, getting to check out all like the hidden stuff where the magic is made. That's pretty spectacular. Like going to Shanghai behind the scenes and Hong Kong, like the behind the scenes stuff, that's where I see the value most of all. It's like, oh, you can ride attractions, like that's really cool, but I want to see how it's made. I want to see, especially Tokyo Disney Imagineering, because their Imagineering team is just better than anything else the park and company has to offer right now. I'm looking at the list of locations, and VIP tour of Disney Paris is amazing. And getting to eat at these amazing restaurants sound fantastic, but it's definitely not something that you can just save up for. You already have to have this money ready to go, and you can afford to take 24 days off to do whatever you want. I would do this if I had the money because it sounds like once in a lifetime opportunity. This is a bucket list item for any Disney fan. But getting to go around the world in 24 days on a special flight, and some people are like, I want a private jet. A Boeing 757 can handle 200 to 300 people. You're going to have adequate space in this thing with a physician and a chef. They probably have, some pretty nice digs on that plane, and you get to go everywhere. So it would be a lot of fun. Only downside is, you're doing it in the middle of summer and you get to go to Florida to end it. So you're kind of ending on that low note, but I imagine Tokyo in the summertime and Shanghai and everything is kind of doable. France in summertime is actually quite nice when I went there. But I would do this. If anyone wants to, add to my GoFundMe page, I'll be sure to take you on this experience with me. Except I might ask, can I just pay for, 1/24 of it? I just want one location. I'll meet you there. And that's it. But going to Skywalker Ranch, I saw that little highlight. That sounds awesome. Getting to see where Star Wars happened, that's amazing. They probably won't have you meet George Lucas though, but that's okay.
Atmosphere
Probably have
character.
a glass of wine. That's probably it.
Yeah,
George
well, it does
Lucas
say you
hanging
get a
out.
glass of wine, you get to try a special tasting, and then you get to take a photo op in front of the Yoda statue. So I don't know.
It's worth
Worth it.
110,000 right there.
And I'll tell you, if there's one person who's going to do that trip, it'll be Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
He loves himself some
Yeah.
Adventures by Disney, I'm sure. He seems like the type.
Yeah,
Can you imagine
I'm
your
sure
jet
he's
lag
all.
that you would
I'm
have
sure.
in
Yeah.
24
He's like, I'll
days?
just fly my own Amazon plane there. I'll take my own self. I'll just meet you guys at all the locations.
His own fleet. Yeah, absolutely. That's a wild thing to be offering right now, but we'll see who ends up doing it and if it's even valuable. I can't imagine the conversation and the meeting around, what we need to do, and sort of pitching this whole concept and who's really
I would like
going
to
to
see
put
the
down that
pictures
money.
of the seats inside the plane. Are they all lay down? Or is there coach and then there's first class? Or
Yeah, how
is
does that work?
everybody even on this playing field?
I'll sleep in the cargo bay if I can get a discount price. I'll serve food. I'll be the physician and the chef at once.
Wow.
I can go on this thing.
Dr.
Wow.
Hassel.
You're so talented.
He can do it all.
Thank you. There's already a doctor in the family, but you can always have a doctor, master chef Hassel in there.
They could be your assistant.
Okay. Yeah.
He'll make you a mean PB&J. That's for sure.
Katrina, you can be the sommelier, and Wade, you are going to actually be the pilot.
Oh,
So-
well, that's
Hop on Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we'll do this thing. Kingdom team.
Kingdom Team.
I'm not invited.
Yeah,
all
what's
the way.
Tyler doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought Tyler was the assistant. I'm sorry, I misheard.
Oh no. The I was saying the doctor in your family is the assistant.
yeah.
Oh, no. You go to medical school within a year. I will
Oh,
be the
okay.
chef.
I could do that.
That's how that
Oh, yeah,
works.
doable.
Right.
Doable.
Just a quick edit right there. Let's edit that. Boom, edited. It's done.
Edited.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's an editor too, everybody.
Mm,
Gosh.
yeah. In the middle of a live show. Incredible.
I am the golden goose. I have many powers.
That's why he has that nickname. Speaking of chef prepared tasty things, maybe you'll find it at this place. Perhaps you won't. Oftentimes we hear you don't. But a buffet returning to Disney's Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World. The Hollywood and Vine is getting their buffet back starting August the 28th. Home to the Disney Junior Character Breakfast, as well as a Minnie Mouse themed lunch dinner on most days. I know that most restaurants in the last 2 years have come online at Walt Disney World in different capacities, and many have chosen that were buffets to do like family style dining, and then they switched on over back to buffets in some capacities based on what location you are at. I don't know what took so long for this buffet to come back, but it's coming back on August the 28th. Hip, hip, hooray. It gets not so rave reviews. It's one of the restaurants within Hollywood Studios that doesn't seem to be all that popular, but it is great character dining for your child, that's for sure. And for the sake of time, we are going to jump ahead to a big story coming out of California. Perhaps you've heard of this. Walt Disney Parks and Resorts will not be moving 2,000 California employees out to Walt Disney World's backyard, Lake Nona in Florida, after all. In fact, the 2,000 employees that were scheduled to do so, well, they are being delayed in doing so until 2026. The Walt Disney Company has paused plans, Fortune.com writes, to move 2,000 high-paying jobs from California to Orlando amidst an ongoing battle with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The company says the delay, which moves the target date for the move back to 2026, was, quote, to give people more time and allow for construction of the new offices. The workspace was originally expected to be operating last December. Disney originally announced plans to move theme park staffers and consumer products workers to Florida last July. The move was meant to take advantage of $570 million in tax breaks. While the company says the delay is not tied to its battles with DeSantis, the rancor between the entertainment giant and the expected presidential hopeful has been growing for months. Disney denounced the state's parental rights and education law and has grown to become a huge faux pas between Disney CEO Bob Chapek and the governor, as well as sort of a political turmoil statement for the company, now alienating both sides of the aisle. This now potentially spilling over into their big move. Now, certainly Disney's saying that's not the case. Hard to imagine what's really behind a push to now 2026 when people were told, drop everything, you're going to Florida in a short amount of time. Tyler, I know you have some thoughts about this.
I mean, I gotta say, quite frankly, it's disgusting. Like, I think it's, you know, obviously Disney is a public traded company, and the people that run it, all the higher ups, they have they have to do what's right for everybody who owns stock, for the company itself. I understand that, and they've been doing that for quite some time, no doubt about it. But I think they're getting just so bold with mistreating their people at this point, that, you know, it's getting disgusting. It's really just makes me feel sick. I mean, I've seen myself, you know, I follow some people on Twitter that, you know, were Imagineers that left their jobs because they were told, hey, just like Wade said, guess what? It's time to move to Florida, like, now. And those people still could have been working there if they didn't just like up and change their mind. And these were all great people too. I mean, you know, I think a lot of the people that are gone are going to leave a big hole in the heart of Imagineering. And it really is just so, it makes me kind of like rageful and sad in a way, you know, where I'm like, man, there's a lot of times where I feel like not supporting this company anymore, like straight up. But it's just kind of, it's like, unfortunately so ingrained in me, and I love it so much. It's like hard for me to just say, I just don't want to do it anymore. And we do have a lot of, you know, I want to call them family that we know in the parks and things like that, that I feel like I would be hurting them too if I just stopped going. So it's, you know, it's a tough thing for me because I am really torn on the situation. I mean, it's just terrible what they're doing. Whoever came to this decision is a disgusting person. I don't think Bob Chapek did it himself. I think there was a number of people, you know, that had something to do with this choice, but it is so disrespectful to everybody who lended themselves to this company, and like, just to do it to begin with. Obviously, they were trying to save money by moving everybody to Florida. Now, I think, Wade, you're exactly right. I mean, come on, this has got to be like political in a lot of ways. There's no way it couldn't be. Of course, they don't want to say that because they're trying to, that's not their place. But man, it's a damn shame, and everybody at the top of this food chain here should be just ashamed of themselves. Like, really, just be a human being. That's how I feel, because you're really hurting families and people who have given their lives to you. So, come on, be respectful. That's all. That's all I've got for it, because it's just, I know I'm getting really serious with this, but it's just really a terrible thing. It's really terrible.
No, it's radically disappointing. You're messing with people's lives. You're toying with people's lives, and here you had all these folks that quit within the last year because they were told you have no other choice. This is what you're doing. I would be frustrated and angry too, especially if I was somebody that made it all the way into Imagineering, which is not an easy department to become a part of for anyone, and then you give up on your dream because you're told you have to do something, and maybe you have family connections. There's a million things that could keep you in a place physically, and now you're being told you don't have the recourse you have to. And then what? Oh, well, hey, we're going to push this out by several years, so now you have plenty of time. Well, I'm gone. I quit. You told me I didn't have a choice.
But even on top of that, the people that had to go buy houses and sell their house here, now what? All the people that have made their decisions to go over there and then started trying to find a life out there now, what? They're not going to be compensated for this. And it's kind of ridiculous.
I know several people that work within the Disney company that were a part of this transition out to the Lake Nona property, who were, in fact, being sent on trips regularly to go out and scope housing for the sake of living there and moving there. And what's really fascinating is, Disney's also spent a small fortune on doing that for all these 2,000 employees too. In the meantime, they've spent all this money pointless at this point. It's so bizarre to kick this thing down the road like they are. It certainly feels political as a way to try and push back, but they say they're still going, in 2026. So I don't know what to think of it, but it's very disappointing, no doubt, and kind of hurtful to the people that have given so much of their lives to an organization through their employment and, really believe in it. Terrible miscalculation, it seems, on behalf of the company. And as somebody who used to work there and certainly been a part of the leadership team, I can tell you that that disrespect was felt on a number of levels even while I was there, based on perhaps where you were department wise and who you reported up to. So Disney is sunshine and rainbows a lot of times, but that is really just the public image. It is a business at the end of the day. Folks, we have so much more Kingdom Report Live to get to. As always, we invite you to stick around because plenty more for you next. Remember those carefree days of childhood where the magic still existed? When you didn't feel guilty about eating mountains of cereal with, we'll just say, questionable nutrition? Well, now you can have your cereal and you can eat it too. Because Magic Spoon has re-engineered that same great taste with grown-up ingredients for an absolutely game-changing Cereal 2.0. I adore cereal. I treasure cereal. It's one of my favorite things to eat, but I just can't justify eating mounds of sugar in every bowl. I don't need to worry about that with Magic Spoon, because it's high protein, low carb, and 0 grams of sugar in each serving. I know, it's hard to believe, but it also comes in 6 delicious flavors: frosted, fruity, cocoa, cinnamon, blueberry, and peanut butter. Plus, they've got limited edition flavors released throughout the year, like gingerbread or peaches and cream. So taste that magic of childhood all over again and get yourself some Magic Spoon cereal. Plus, take $5 off your order at checkout. All you got to do is insert the promo code Kingdom Team. That's right, Kingdom Team at checkout will get you $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com. That's magicspoon.com. DisneylandUpdates.com. Promo code Kingdom Team. Disney List Time is here. That's right. Today it's all about Disneyland, and in particular, what a first-time visitor should know about the Disneyland Resort. Are you somebody that has made it on out to the original Magic Kingdom? Well, believe it or not, there are several people that have not been able to do such a thing. Yeah. Quite a few folks, as a matter of fact, still haven't had their first visit, and that is why we are here with some trusted theme park perspective. Myself, Tyler Crouch, Katrina Menzone, and Garrett Hassel, all willing to share some tips for you to make your first visit even more spectacular. Or if you happen to know somebody that is going for their very first time, pass along the link to this and let them know that we have some extras that they need to be aware of before making their way and plunking down a ton of money to the Disneyland Resort. We'll start with Katrina. What do you think when it comes to some things some first-timers should know about?
The resort is very small. Okay, so it's not like Disney World. If you've been to Disney World and Disneyland is like your second option, it's very small. So you can honestly I honestly recommend doing a park hopper, because you can, like, they're right across the way from each other. You don't have to take a monorail. You don't have to take a bus. You don't need a car. You can just use your 2 feet and walk over to the next one.
Your 2 feet?
You 2 feet. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can roll your way. You can hop. You can skip. Whatever you want to do to get to the next one.
It actually takes longer to take the monorail to get to the other park.
Oh, it's not even worth it. The monorail doesn't go there. Yeah. There is a monorail, but it's not worth it.
Take the monorail to downtown Disney, hop into Grand California, then walk in. You've already gone past by, 1,000 feet, but whatever.
That would be the worst. And then I would say, because if you're doing Genie Plus and you're trying to get your lightning lanes and everything, and you're going to be paying extra for that, is totally worth doing Park Hopper, because it just saves a lot of time. If one side there's a couple rides on one side that has less time or like less of a queue than the other, you can easily walk over there. It makes me so sad when people say like, oh, well, I'm just going to do one park one day and then the next park the next day. And I'm like, I mean, like, you kind of like, it's not worth it, because like you should do like DCA one day in the morning and then go to Disneyland, or like hop back and forth and not keep yourself at Disneyland, because then you may be done or maybe too busy. And then you're kind of like, well, now what do I do? Yeah. Kind of thing. So I would say
field.
Recommend just park hopper, hop back and forth. It gives a lot of exercise. It makes you thirsty. Go to Carthay, have a drink. And then my second one would probably be like, remember there's reservations, because a lot of people don't remember that Disney has reservation system. So even that for a first timer, I know it's like a no duh type thing, but it isn't for a lot of newcomers that you need a reservation. So remember to plan ahead, because I mean, if you buy a ticket, you're gonna pretty much not guaranteed you're gonna get in, but it's still like you still may on a busy day like not be able to get in, even though you planned your whole trip out and you forgot to make a reservation. So I highly recommend making a reservation.
Great points. Tyler, first visitors, what should they know?
I mean, I guess for me, I'm thinking of kind of somebody who's been, maybe to Disney World or one of the other parks, and most likely Disney World. But I just think that like something, especially if you're a big fan of characters, something to keep in mind that's like really cool, and maybe you want to be on the lookout for it, to have some conversations or take some photos or something, is that at Disneyland, one of the cool things, especially, it was gone for a little bit, but now it's coming back, is that the characters kind of just roam around a lot of the time. And it's really neat to just watch them doing their thing, and it feels more like rather than just having a line of people where they're like just waiting for people to take photos and they're just standing there, and there's really kind of no story to that. I think it's cool to watch Peter Pan or like the Evil Queen walking around and like conversing with people, and just kind of like they're having like a vacation day at Disneyland or something. Like it's kind of cool. So I think keep in mind that characters are kind of doing more things when you're out at Disneyland, I think, which is always a fun thing. And then my second one, honestly, was kind of like Katrina's. We didn't really talk about it before the show, but I mean, everything is close together. I mean, everything is like, again, I'm coming from the perspective of somebody who's been to Disney World maybe, and like Katrina said, there's no buses or anything that you have to take. Like, you literally just walk across the street and there's the second park. And to top that all off, not even just everything that Disney owns is close together, but also there's a lot of great places outside of Disneyland that are really fun to go and check out. Like the Packing District has a lot of cool little restaurants, and there's a bar called oh gosh, now I'm blanking on
Blind Rabbit?
Well, Blind Rabbit, but Strongwater is the other one. I was like, if you're a big fan of tiki, then Strongwater is like a really cool bar that you need, because I feel like Walt Disney himself kind of created the whole tiki love in a lot of ways, like at least in Southern California. So I think a lot of people that like Disney love tiki as well. What are you saying?
Because the resort's so small, don't think you have to stay at the Disneyland Resort and pay a pretty penny like you do at Walt Disney World as well, because there's tons of surrounding hotels that are nearby that are walking distance. So don't forget that. Like Disney World, yes, you might want like the bus system because there's like if you stay and you pay the pretty penny, but Disneyland you don't need to pay like $1,000 for a room just so you can get access to Disney California Adventure from the Grand Californian, or whatever. So just remember that, like you don't need to do it unless you want to. That's up to you. But I'm saying like if you want to try to save money, there's like places right across the street, just like a 2-minute walk away.
Again, this isn't Disney World.
It's different.
Yeah,
everything is very close here. Yeah,
I think too, like something to remember in that vein of everything is so close together is that there is like when you're at like Magic Kingdom, for example, like the walkways do feel very wide a lot of the time, like unless maybe it's like almost firework time or something like that. But when
then
you
they shrink,
then they actually physically get smaller. No, but Disneyland is tight. Disneyland is a tightly packed place, so maybe like pack your patience a little bit if you've never been before, because you're gonna run into a lot of little what do you call them, funnels of people, so yeah, it's something to keep in mind, and maybe give yourself a little extra time if you have to get from place to place, but
all part of the charm.
Yeah,
it is.
honestly it is part of the charm, because there's something about World like Magic Kingdom versus Disneyland which it just feels so much more corporate.
Disneyland's better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are all in agreement here, I think.
Oh,
so.
oh yeah.
But yeah, so that I guess that's another thing I could say is just if you've never been to Disneyland, it has a whole different feel to it. So than any of the other
plan
parks.
an extra day just to walk and sit and stare at things. Just don't ride rides. Just walk, sit, stare, enjoy the ambiance.
Buy a corn dog.
Yeah, sit there.
Sit on
eat
a park
corn dog.
bench.
Oh, that sounds great.
Popcorn. Doesn't it though?
Popcorn.
And Garrett, if you had an opportunity to share with folks, some first-time visitors, a few tips, what would you say? What would you tell them?
Mm-hmm. Well, Katrina took one of my answers about like staying off property. So I'm going to pivot real fast. And yeah, it's okay. You only have like 5 answers.
She took mine too.
I would say to another Disney park, like Disney World. The Disneyland Resort, I find that the attractions are a little bit longer and they're a little bit higher quality. You compare something as simple as Pirates of the Caribbean. The Disneyland version is going to be about 9 minutes long and has a lot more immersive storytelling, has multiple drops, while the Disney World version is like 5 minutes and you're kind of off before you even realize you're like, oh, that's it. A lot, and also has Indiana Jones Adventure, probably the best attraction ever made compared to Dinosaur, that lovely little thing. But the attractions at the Disneyland Resort, I think, are just superior for the most part to anything Walt Disney World has to offer. But the second thing I would probably say is it's the original park. It's where it all started. It's like what Tyler said, where there's an ambiance, there's an energy. You feel Walt was there, because Walt never actually got to really touch anything of Disney World other than the land he acquired before he unfortunately passed away. So when you're there, just take in the energy, take in the atmosphere, because it has a different feel. It feels a lot more welcoming and warm. And that's not to say the weather, because Florida is way hotter, but Disneyland's the original, and you can definitely feel the magic in the air. And
in the air.
It's
a real place.
Feel the love.
As opposed to what?
Yeah, the attraction. Yeah, you can feel it. In the water, I don't know.
Yeah,
in the water.
That's some sweet water.
It's beautiful, and it's got everything going for it. It really is perfect, except for the whole being landlocked in LA thing.
Yeah, that does
it's
create
Orange
some
County.
problems. Yeah, geez.
Orange County, my bad. Sorry.
Get your counties right, sir. Oh, you.
We still love you.
That's why he's our golden goose, Garrett Hassel. That's why he. Whoop.
Oh, there it is.
Wanna do the
Yeah,
goose
that's
sound.
yeah. See, not the duck one.
Wow.
What are they
You look
doing?
like you look like a cat trying to vomit right there for a second.
This is the they kind of make that honky noise because geese honk versus the duck is like.
Well, that was a pretty good duck.
He can do it all. Every sound.
I try my best. I do taxes too. Don't ask me to do your taxes though, because I'm pretty bad at them.
Don't get him to do your taxes.
Well, now we turn it on over to all of you. When it comes to first-time visitor tips, what would you suggest? Leave it in our comment section. As always, we appreciate hearing your perspective. You stick around. Kingdom Report Live wraps up next.
Looking for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week. Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy. For more information, visit kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
And that about wraps things up for this broadcast. I can't believe it's over again. Things just start and then they're over, just like that. That's how you know you had some fun, right? Yeah, well, as always, we like to reward you for being a part of the broadcast. All you got to do to win your very own Kingdom Report mug is leave a comment underneath this video. As soon as it's done on our YouTube page, head on over to the Kingdom Report on YouTube, leave a comment underneath the video. As soon as the live video is over, you're able to post comments underneath. And the phrase that pays this week, the comment you need to leave, the Jungle Cruise. The Jungle Cruise is the phrase that pays this week. Yeah, between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, in which to leave your comment. If you are the winner, we will reach out to you and say, hey, what color of mug do you want? And we'll get it on out to you. Well, my friends, as always, it has been a great pleasure. For Katrina Manzoni, Tyler Crouch, Sabina Graves, Garrett Hassel, and all the gang. Producer Tony. Yeah, we think of him too. Want to thank you for being a part of the broadcast. And remember, the legacy of Walt Disney, it lives on because of people like you and me. We'll see you next time for another edition of Kingdom Report Live.
Bye.